Thank you very much, Rohit. Excellent. I have some slides on the screen here.
Can you have Peter's slides?
There. I can see my slides. Oh, there we go. Well, thank you. Thank you again, Rohit, for the introduction. Thank you very much for everyone for joining us today. I'm just going to give a brief overview of the global situation before we move on to the assessment in the region. Can I have the next? I should be able to, yes. That doesn't seem to. Oh, there we go. So I think almost everybody will know who Iapb is, but just in case there's anyone with us today who are not sure, we're the overarching alliance for the global eye care sector. We're a membership organisation with now more than 250 members around the world, and drawn from the non-governmental community, eye hospitals, academic institutions, professional bodies, and increasingly the corporate sector and private sector as well. I'm sure you all know the scale of the global issue. This slide is obviously a reminder that more than 1 billion people around the world have sight loss because they don't have access to the eye care they need, and that number is growing. It's growing because of changing demographics, growing ageing population around the world, the increase in non-communicable diseases, and increasingly the growth of myopia, which is obviously affecting younger populations as well. And so I think it's projected that by 2050, if we don't do anything about it, that figure of 1 billion will grow to almost 2 billion. And indeed, that doesn't really take account of the growth in myopia either. It's estimated that half the population will, of course, have myopia by then again, if we haven't managed to turn the graph back the other way. And that has a wider impact. And again, I suspect this is familiar to everybody, that eye health is not just a health issue. It's an economic, a social, a development issue as well, and it cuts across a whole range of the Sustainable Development Goals. And I think increasingly that is recognised by the global community, that eye health isn't just a healthcare issue. It's an issue that affects education, it's an issue that affects employment, it's an issue that affects economic productivity. So the headline figure there is that eye health, the lack of eye care, the gaps in eye care leads to a loss in global productivity of more than $400 billion a year. Actually, that is likely to be a very significant underestimate. The figure is more likely to be in the trillions of dollars, but that's the one that we can absolutely reference. And we're developing at the moment a revised investment case that will update these figures, and we hope to publish that investment case in the early autumn, which will look at the impact on children's education, across economic productivity, and on people's lives more widely. Again, this is really a reminder. I'm sure many people have seen these and heard our slide before, but we developed with the global eye care sector, we developed a new strategy for eye health which we launched in 2021, to really move on from Vision 2020. And this had the very ambitious goal of eliminating avoidable sight loss by 2030. So that is our goal. That clearly is extremely ambitious, but it aligns with the Sustainable Development Goals, because the targets for the Sustainable Development Goals is around achieving those targets by 2030. And clearly, given the relationship that we've shown, you cannot achieve those Sustainable Development Goals unless you have eliminated avoidable sight loss. We won't achieve the Sustainable Development Goals without eliminating avoidable sight loss. So we've aligned our targets with that. That's why we've got that ambition of 2030. And overall, we want to see a world where no one experiences unnecessary or preventable sight loss, and everyone can achieve their full potential. That eye care rehabilitation services are accessible, inclusive, and affordable to everyone, everywhere, whenever they're needed, and that people understand the importance of caring for their own eye health and demand access to services free from the weight of any social stigma. So those are the key goals that we have, and in order to do that, we want to elevate eye health as a social, economic and development issue, incorporate it into wider healthcare systems and drive patient and consumer and market change. We are making progress, particularly at a global level. We have seen greater global attention on eye health, starting back in 2019 with the launch of the World Report on Vision by the World Health Organization. That has been followed by a range of resolutions at the World Health Assembly, and importantly, the UN resolution on vision, which drew out this connection between eye health and the Sustainable Development Goals. And gradually we're seeing that impact on other areas. So it's been involved in the road safety resolution that the UN has passed, and in various other areas we've done work with the International Labour Organization to draw out the relationship between eye health and work. And right at the end, you'll see these references to the voluntary national reviews. So these are reviews that countries make on their progress on implementing the Sustainable Development Goals. And for the first time in the past couple of years, countries have actually talked about what they're doing on eye health. Four countries 2 years ago, 7 countries last year. And I think that is that shows the impact we're beginning to have and translating those global resolutions into action at country level. But there's a long way to go. This map shows, this is self-assessment for countries on the progress of integration of eye care into mainstream health services. So the first thing to note is that we've only so far got 47 countries reporting on this. So there's a big data gap that we need to fill in the first place. We need another 150 countries to report to do that. And then, as you can see from this map, there are very few countries that are reporting that they are successfully integrating eye care into mainstream healthcare. So there is still a big challenge for us in terms of really achieving the goals that we've set out to achieve. And that's why we want to hold a global summit on eye health in 2026. And these are the words of Aubrey Webson, Ambassador Aubrey Webson, who I'm sure many of you know, who is the ambassador of Antigua and Barbuda at the United Nations and has been a huge champion of global eye health. And in his words, the Global Summit on Eye Health is about turning words on paper to action for people, from paper to people. That is critically what we want. So our goals for the summit are obviously to champion eye health and shine a spotlight on it. Hopefully we can mobilise resources, but critically it's to galvanise national action. And that is the focus of what we want to achieve, is to turn those words, to turn the commitments that countries have already made at a global level into action at a country level. And that's what we hope countries will come to the summit to say what they will do. And it's essentially the start of a programme that they will do, so that it's not the end. They'll come and then we will have a roadmap and an accountability process that ensures the countries actually stick to the promises that they make. Thank you very much.